Be'ezer Hashem. Thank you, Naftali Wadler, for being here. It's our zchus that tonight we're going to hear Eli Goldberg share Divrei Torah. The truth is that my plan was for Eli to share Divrei Torah later, but ha'avim l'kalkelas sashura. I want to hear him. This Ben Torah. Why should we wait till later? I want to hear him. I want to hear him sooner than later. Yossi Greenspan, are we clear? Outstanding. So Eli Goldberg's going to go. Eli Goldberg's going to go in 3 minutes instead of waiting till later. I want to just read the first. I want to read the first words of the Mishnah. We're up to Perek Beis Mishnah Hey, and it says Hillel Omer al tifresh min hatzibur. Don't separate from the tzibur. I want you to hear this Rambam. Simcha Spurn, I need to learn this Rambam with the Chevra. Don't be Pirish from the tzibur. Attached to the Jewish people. Chaim Ghoori, I want to learn this Rambam. Listen to the golden lashon of the Rambam. Yoel Rahmani, check this out. Listen to this Rambam. The Rambam's in Hilchos Tshuva, Perek Gimel, Halacha Yud Aleph. Amazing Rambam. Everybody has to know this Rambam. It's probably Zevi, it's a mitzvah lefar say Mendy Cats. We have to spread this Rambam. Yaakov Deutsch, thank you for being here and listen to this Rambam. Says the Rambam, HaPirish midarkei tzibur. If somebody separates from the ways of the tzibur, Afa Pishoy over Averis, they weren't transgress one Avera. They keep Kola Torah Kula. Ela Nivdal Meyadas Yisrael. They separate, they don't feel part of the Jewish people. The Eina Oise Mitzvahs Bichlalan. They don't do mitzvahs together with the Jewish people. They keep Kol HaTorah Kula, but they don't join the Jewish people. V'loi nichmas b'tzarasan. The pain of the Jews is not their pain. V'loi mis'ane b'tanesam. They don't fast when Yidden fast. Elohoylech b'darkoi. They go in their own ways. Ke'echad migoye ha'aretz. Like a guy. That they just don't function as part of the Jewish people. Uki'ilu einoi mehem, as if they're not part of the Jewish people. Eloi chelek lo'ilam haba. A Neiridika Rambam, they have no oilam haba, the Rambam says. Such a person has no oilam haba. You're talking about a person who wasn't over one Avera, is the frummest of the frum. They just don't feel part of the Jewish people. Eina Oise Mitzvahs Bichlalan. They don't join in. They're not a yid together with a nation. They're not part of our people. I want to share with you a Maisa that I love. It's a wild story. I've told Avi Lachman's heard this story from me many times, but I have to share this Maisa. I heard this story from a Talmud of Reb Chatzkel. And after this story, we're going to get to hear Be'ezer Hashem. We'll get to hear Eli Goldberg, what we want badly. But listen to this Meiser, Rabbi say. There was Reb Chatzkel was the Mashkiach in the Panovich Yeshiva, and people were very afraid of Reb Chatzkel. Reb Chatzkel was a giant, tremendous yira. There was a Raimamus there. People had a tremendous reverence for Reb Chatzkel. The bottom line is there was a wealthy donor of the yeshiva that was coming to Panovich. And the Bachrim were upset at the Panovich Rav. They were upset about something in the yeshiva, something with the food. They had some time on the Panovich Rav. And the Bachrim decided that they were going to go on strike. This wealthy guy, maybe he gave donations to the main base medrash, or had built even perhaps the main base medrash. So the Bachrim said, we'll be on strike. We'll all go learn in the Ezras Nashim, and it will be like a bad sight. They're going to bring this rich guy into the Beis Medrash, and there won't be anybody learning in the Beis Medrash. It will be empty. The Beis Medrash, nobody will be learning there. We'll pack in the Ezras Nashim, and this way, it will make the yeshiva look bad. Noach, listen to this Maisa, Noach Klitnik, I love you. Listen to this Maisa. So Reb Chatzkel, the bottom line is the Bachrim pull off this strike. The rich guy is about to visit yeshiva. All the Bachram are in the Ezras Nashim. A few Chevra didn't want to join the rebellion, and they were learning in the Beis Medrash. Reb Chatzkel goes to the Beis Medrash, and he says to those Bachram, he felt that there was a degree that you could tell, what do you mean? It's the wrong thing to do. He felt there was a little part of their action, they're different than everybody else. He goes down and he gives them Musar al Tifresh min HaTzibur, Pirish min HaTzibur, the Tzibur's on strike. They couldn't believe it. Reb Chatzkel yells at the goodies. They were shocked. So they run up to the Ezras Nashim, and Reb Chatzkel walks right behind them. They all run up to join the strike. Then Reb Chatzkel claps in the Ezras Nashim, and he said, whoever doesn't get downstairs to the Beis Medrash, he gave 10 seconds. I'm standing at the gates of Gan Eden, and you're not coming in. And everybody runs to the Beis Medrash. I heard this from a Talmud of Reb Chatzkel. Naira, here they were such goodies. There's so much to this story. They were mamish the goodies. When the Olam's doing a strike, it's wrong. And Reb Chatzkel obviously held the strike was wrong. But he also held these people have to know what it means that you're part of a tzibur. Part of a tzibur is you join what the tzibur is doing, what the tzibur is saying, al tifresh min tzibur. Amazing Rambam that a Pirish midarke tzibur is tremendous einshim. Rev Hirsch says on the spot what we learned together this morning, that Torah tzibalanu ma'ishem ma'rasha kilas Yaakov. He speaks it out. It is not to the individual, but to the community that God entrusted his Torah. Ma'rasha kilas Yaakov. It's an inheritance for all generations to come. For this reason, every individual is duty-bound to join forces with his community in thought, word, and deed, and to loyally share in its tasks and obligations. He sticks in, the next words are so cool to me, because everybody knows that Rav Hirsch seceded from the community. He sticks in a caveat. He says, so long as that community proves to be a faithful guardian and supporter of the Torah. Fascinating, Isafa. But Rabbi Sal Tifresh min HaTzibur, think about Klal Yisrael's needs. We're part of the people. We're proud of a beautiful people. I always try to train my mishpacha, my people. I want my kids to say, my people, proudly. My nation, my people. I want my kids to grow up with the sense we belong to a beautiful people. I happen to love going to Pesach hotels. We were taken away this year. All year round, I live on a quiet mountain. I want my kids to see a big range, a beautiful nation. I want them to see our people, and I want them to have a pride. Our people, my people. I want that to be something we pride, and I don't want to raise people who are Pirish min HaTzibur, who have a sense of separate, distant, different. We're part of a beautiful nation that we care about, that we identify with. And to that beautiful nation was given a Torah, and when we shtelzu, when we apply to that people, we have a shaykhus to the Torah that was given to that people. Without further ado, we're fortunate in our people, in our chabura, we're zeicha to a precious yid, Eli Goldberg. And I asked Eli to share divrei Torah with the chevra. Eli, I'm unmuting you.
Hi, Rabbi.
I'm going to mute myself because I just want to hear you, Eli.
Thank you, Rabbi. If it's okay, I want to go back to the sugya that we discussed last night with Rabbi. It was something I was thinking about. There were really two thoughts that I had from last night. Hopefully I'll be able to share both of them, but I want to start with one of them. We learned last night, the Mishnah Daled, in the second Pirkei Avos, that Rabbi Gamliel tells us that that a person's supposed to make his will like Hashem's will, so that Hashem should make his own will like it's our will. And it's a troubling statement for me because I'm not exactly sure how to take it. What I understand is if I make my will into Hashem's will, then Hashem, what's the Kadesh Yasa Ritzaincha Kertzainai? My will is now Hashem's will. Hashem's not changing his will into anything. What's Rabbi Gamliel trying to tell us? It was just a little bit strange for me to understand. I think that to fully understand what Rabbi Gamliel is telling us, we have to understand another nakuda, and that is that the Sefer HaChinuch, one of the things that he's famous for is that through all the mitzvahs that he brings down, he gives what he calls misharshei mitzvah. He gives a reason towards the mitzvahs. But what's interesting is that in his Hagdama, he says something very, very strange. He says that a person is going to come ahead and a person can ask, why is it that Hashem gave us this mitzvah? Or why is it that Hashem chose us and gave us the Torah? And he paraphrases a pasuk in Yeshaya. The pasuk in Yeshaya is in Parak Nun Hey, pasuk Tes. I have it written down. I'm not going to say it by heart. And the pasuk goes, Ki loy machshavosai machshavosechem. Hashem saying that his thoughts, that our thoughts are not like his thoughts. And the next pasuk reads, Ki gavayu shemayim me'aretz. And Hashem saying how far off our thoughts are from Hashem's because of just the mere fact that we're basar v'dam and Hashem's a melech malchei amlachem. And the Sefer HaChinuch says that if a person asks these questions, the truth is that we don't know the answer to it. Because she'ein das b'nei adam, says the Sefer HaChinuch, that the mind of a human being, because we're a mere basar v'dam, is not able to masik b'drach of Yitzhak. He's not able to comprehend the das of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's not able to comprehend what it means. He has no asaga to understand what it means that Hashem wants from him. So that really just makes the statement of Rabbi Gamliel even more puzzling, because Rabbi Gamliel says, Aseh ritzayne kirtzaynecha. So if I'm a basar v'dam, how am I even supposed to make my ratzon like Hashem's ratzon if I can't even fathom what Hashem's ratzon is? And to answer that, what I was thinking is that Rav Moshe Feinstein in his Igros Moshe and Hagdama brings down he says some scary things. He talks about the idea of how even Rav Moshe was talking about how he was terrified to write a sefer that gives a psak halacha, because he says how it's possible that a person could come out with the wrong halacha. But he says something very interesting. He says, and he quotes the Gemara in Eruvin. We know when we have a lot of halachos, a lot of the times there are Rishonim and Tanaim and Amoraim that all argue with each other. And it's possible that a person could think, the Gemara in Chagiga brings down, that a person could think, who am I supposed to follow? Is halacha like this person? How am I supposed to learn Torah? What's going to happen? And Chazal tells us that Elu v'Elu divrei lekem Chaim, that no matter, in the end of the day, both of these opinions are the word of Hashem, and that's puzzling to understand. But it says of Moshe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and his lashon is HaKadosh Baruch Hu nasan es haTorah liYisrael. Hashem gave the Torah to Klal Yisrael, shiyasu kafi sheyavenu, so that they should do it, so they should follow the Torah kafi sheyavenu, according to the way that they understand it. And I think with this yesod, it's possible to understand what Rabbi Gamliel is trying to tell us. It's possible to say that what Rabbi Gamliel wants is that if a person makes his ratzon kirtzaynecha, aseh ritzayne kirtzaynecha, if a person follows the Messiah from his rabbeim, and if a person goes through the Torah in an MS way, and he asks his rabbeim questions, and he goes and he follows the Messiah, what he comes out with is kirtzaynecha. He comes out with the ratzon of Hashem to the point where kadesh yaser ritzaynecha kirtzaynai. Hashem makes that you put all the effort into, that you came out with as the ratzon Hashem, that becomes ratzon Hashem specifically for you, specifically in that case. And that's what possibly the Mishnah is saying. Aseh ritzayne kirtzaynecha. Rabbi Gamliel could be telling us that if a person puts his will, he puts his efforts into uncovering what it is that Hashem wants from him, because the only thing we can possibly do is divrei elu v'elu divrei lekem Chaim, that if I put my efforts into understanding Ratzon Hashem, Hashem makes it that bedafka, that which I came out with, that becomes Ratzon Hashem, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing in the moment. That was one thing that I wanted to share. Rabbi, can I possibly say one more thing? Or Rabbi mentioned also yesterday the view of the altar of Kelm, of the Mishnah of Aseh Ritzayne Kirtzaynecha, and it reminded me of a pasuk in Mishlei, and there was a really, really scary gra. These are not my words, so don't hate the teller, but they're really, really scary words that the Gaon brings down on this pasuk. The pasuk can be found in Pirkei Avos Shuir in Mishlei. So the altar of Kelm said that Aseh Ritzayne Kirtzaynecha means that a person's ratzon, when you do ratzon Hashem, it shouldn't be a bother on you in the sense that you feel like you're being mevatel. That's the next step, like Rabbi was talking about yesterday. At a certain point, when you work up to the level of wanting to do ratzon Hashem, then you could be mevatel things from yourself, and it's not like a bother. But this Shlomo Melech tells us in Mishlei that Ivalis Adam Tisaliv Darkai, that the foolishness of a person distorts his ways, Ve'al Hashem Yizaf Libai. And what ends up happening is, but he directs all of his anger, he directs all of his frustration towards Hashem, and says the Gra something that's very, very scary. He says that, and I think it's very in line with what the Alter was trying to say. He says that we know the Gemara tells us that there's a rule of Habalatar Messiah, so that if someone comes to want to do Ratzon Hashem, we know that Hashem helps him. However, the Gra says that we see many times the person goes, Ulapa'amim, he says, that a person starts learning Torah, Velasis mitzvahs, and he's doing mitzvahs, the Acharkach, but afterwards, Parish, why? Because Machma Shakasha Ma'id. It becomes very hard for him to do Ratzon Hashem, it becomes very hard for him to serve Hashem. And the Gra says, what happened? The Gemara tells us that if a person comes to be Matayr himself, Hashem's going to help him. What does the Gra say? He says, but the reason why but we get angry at Hashem, but in truth it's because of our own foolishness. What was that, says the Gra? It says the foolishness is that kol adam tzarech leilech lefi madregasai v'lo yakpitz. Person has to go according to his own madrega on a step-by-step. As we know, Rebbe loves ladders. Every person has to follow a step-by-step process to get towards Ratzon Hashem, to get towards making his own Ratzon Hashem. And they quote a Reb Volba, and Rav Volba brings, and they quote Rav Volba in the Alei Shor, and he says that im adam nigash la'avodas Hashem shaloi lefi madregasai ubli yishavadas. If a person goes to try to serve Hashem not according to his madrega, ein loy siyata dishmaya, says Rav Volba. It's a very scary lashon, but I think that in line with what the author is saying is that if a person goes to do Ratzon Hashem and he's not working according to his own derech and he's not working according to his own path, then it's going to become very hard for him because Lamais, it seems to be he doesn't get the right proper siyata dishmaya. So I want to hope, b'zchus everybody here, I want to hope that I give myself a bracha and everybody a bracha, that I should be able to, we should all be able to properly find the Ratzon Hashem within all of us and follow it by a step-by-step process. Shkayach, Rabbi.
Awesome. Rabbi, I thank Eli tremendously to have a person so articulate, to be able to give over such a clear vision and clear ideas in Yiddishkeit, developed and thought out. For a long time, I left on my dresser a 3-page letter. I believe it was 3 pages that Eli wrote me, and I would read it over and over, dazzled at the clarity, think out and develop and build Yiddishkeit. It's just inspiring to hear your precious Divrei Torah. I love you, Eli, and appreciate it. Thank you so much. I wanted as well wish a happy birthday to Zevi Gerala. I want to put him on the spot. Let me find Zevi for a minute. It is his birthday. Zevi, you're unmuted. Happy birthday, first of all, Zevi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Could I ask you on Sunday night to share Divrei Torah with us?
I guess.
Really not nice to me. I think the share is going to dwindle away. I do such mean and really not nice to put somebody on the spot, but I'm close enough to Zevi to do it. Thank you, Zevi. I want to share. When I get emotional, I have a weird habit that I write poetry. Now I stopped myself because it wasn't the proper time, but when I was thinking about Zevi, I just started writing a few verses. I didn't write much. I wrote literally about 6 lines and had to get busy with something else, but I want to read Zevi my 6 lines. Let me put Zevi on. Zevi, I'm going to read you the 6 lines, but it flowed. I have much more to say. This is like just the beginning. Zevi Gerala was known for his lockdown D, his amazing mid-range shot and occasional 3. But what truly amazes us about this Ben Torah extraordinaire is his aliyah in Torah, midas, and prayer. Zevi, in our power rankings, you are number 1. You're an Arisha b'Chabura. We're happy to our Chabura you did come. That was just the start to speak about Zevi. But Be'ez Hashem, we'll continue talking about him, b'siyat d'shmaya, on Sunday night when we're Zoicha to hear from Zevi. But happy birthday, Zevi. You should be Zoich to continue steiging and growing and uplifting everybody in your environment. I wanted to go on the Mishnah in this Perek Beis. I want to thank Rachi Friedman, talk about B'nai Torah. Thank you for being here. Eli Goldberg. Ezzy, thanks a ton for coming. Deli Traub, thank you for being here. I appreciate it a lot. I want to go on in Perek Sheni Mishnah Hey as follows. I want to share with you a pshat from Rav Hirsch that is a very unusual pshat, and I would like to share this with you because we just passed Lag BaOmer. The Mishnah says, Hilalayim al tifresh min atzibur, don't be perish from the tzibur. Al tamin ba'atzmacha, don't trust oneself ad yoim maischa, till the day of one's death. A person should be careful to avoid dangerous situations. Don't judge your friend until you reach his spot. Don't judge your friend. Now Ari Malik, so appreciate you're here. He says words, Ari, that are very difficult to translate. And Rev Hirsch has a pshat that I'm so excited to share with Gav Gradko. Such an unusual, beautiful pshat, Gavila. Listen to this pshat. The Mishnah says, "V'al toimar davar she'iev shar l'shmaya she'soifai li'shama." Now, what do those words mean? A lot is written on those words. Eli Goldberg, listen to the pshat that Rev Hirsch says. I think this is tremendous. V'al toimar davar she'iev shar l'shmaya. Says Rev Hirsch means don't say on something that it's impossible to be heard. Do not say of any word that it cannot possibly be heard. Don't say this will never be taught. This will never happen. Al taimar davar she'yev shalishmaya, because she'soifai lishama, for in the end it will be heard. Don't be miyayish if you have a true idea, if you have a true mission, if you have something you're passionate about, don't quickly give up on it. Al taimar davar she'yev shalishmaya. Don't say on anything this will never work. She'soifai lishama, at the end it will be heard. This Rev Hirsch, Rabbi say, is so gorgeous. I want to read you a little more in detail what Rev Hirsch says, and Lag Ba'omer, the encouragement of Rabbi Kiva, who taught and continued to teach, and didn't say it will never be heard and it will never work. And we have Torah today because of Rabbi Kiva's tenacity. Please let me read this quote from Rev Hirsch. Do not say that you will never be able to gain a hearing from the other members of the community. As long as the view you represent is truly right and aims only at what is good and true, do not refrain from expressing it. Continue your fight tirelessly and undaunted for what is good and right, for years if need be. In the end, provided, of course, that you have fought for your cause solely for its own sake, without ulterior or selfish motives, you will be heard. There's a Maisa, Rabbi said, we said over a story from Reb Chaim Volozhin last night, when Reb Chaim Volozhin was passionate about starting the Volozhin Yeshiva, to make an upheaval in yeshivas. So he went to his Rebbe, the Gra, and he presented an idea that he had for yeshivas, and the Gra was he didn't express much excitement. I don't want to say he didn't ignore his Talmud, but he didn't go for it. He wasn't buying it, the Gra. A year later, Reb Chaim Volozhin asked the Gra again, and the Gra, with much enthusiasm, was very into Reb Chaim Volozhin's idea. So he asked the Gra, a year ago you were parav, and now you're excited. And the Gra said that he brought a Yerushalmi, but he told Reb Chaim Volozhin at the beginning, I thought you were excited about something. Will it have staying power? Will you have the tenacity to see it through? So a year later, you're still fired up about the idea, Itaka will work. And the Mishnah, Rev Hirsch explains to us, is saying, don't say on an idea of truth that it will never work. Don't easily quit. If you have a truth to teach, if you have a true idea, a true plan that you feel will impact, don't say it can't be heard. She'soifai lishama. In the end, it will be heard. I want to share with you a story that happened. My close chaver of Yankov Metz, came to me with an idealism that he had. And I didn't understand what he was saying. In my mind, it was Yefshar Lishmaya. I didn't hear the plan that he had. And I told him, I don't hear it, but you're so fired up about it. And I was trying to hear what he was saying, what he wanted to do. Lemaisa, this tzaddik stuck at it. And he felt there was something there, and he's been marbitz Torah. Thousands of Yidden gained from his idea. It was Soifai Lishama, his idealism and his tenacity, and his stubborn grabbing on to the truth. It was Soifai Lishama. His idea impacted. Too many people, have an idea, have something that's powerful, and a little cold water gets thrown on it and they give up on it. They abort their plan, they stop, and they're told by too many, it's the Efshar Lishmaya, your words never will be heard. They won't get out, they won't impact. And this Mishnah calls a person, Al Taimer. Don't ever say that Davar She'efshar Lishmaya on something sincere, on something authentic. Never say it's the Efshar Lishmaya. She'soifai Lishama. If the person's idealistic, the person's Leman Hashem, it will have an impact. It will have a tremendous, tremendous impact. She'soifai Lishama. In the end, it will be heard. I wanted to share something that's meaningful to me, and maybe it'll be to you. Avram Avinu, the starter of our people, was Mekarev tens of thousands, the Rambam says, of people to Avinu Shebashamayim. Ask the Medrash, when we went down to Mitzrayim a few days later, so we only had Shivim Nefesh, 70 souls. Ask the Medrash, where were all the people Avram Avinu was Mekarev? Where were they? Says the Medrash, Chazal Asuram, they went off the derech. Now, of course, Rabbi Say, of course, they all were changed by Avram, and the world's a different place because of Avram Avinu. It says Chazal Asuram, they didn't stay at that madrega. At that level, they didn't stay. So Avram Avinu spends a life teaching Das Hashem, and his Talmidim are on fire. And Chazal Asuram, they didn't stay mamish at that madrega. So the cynic would have watched Avram, and they would have said, look, it was a Yeshar Lishmaya, what you wanted to teach and ignite, it didn't work. Look, you're a paltry people of 70, you're a paltry nation, 70 souls. Your dream, your vision for a world who serves Hashem with fire, somebody would have laughed at Avram. Now I ask you, Chevra, look at our screen. Nobody's laughing today. Thousands of years later, Yidden across the world, loyalists to Hashem. There's a nation, a beautiful, large nation, B'nai Avram, Saifai Lishama. Never doubt idealism. Never doubt sincerity. A guy called me up recently with a whole idea of idealism. I told him, Reb Yid, I'm not a pretend person. I'm not clear what you're saying. I told him the story with my Chaver Reb Yankov Metz. I said, don't let anybody in the world throw water. Don't let anybody cool you down. I don't know what you're saying, and I wish I could. I can't be pretend. But I see there's idealism. I see sincerity. You're sincere, Saifai Lishama. You have ideas. You have a passion that will make an impact in the world. I think to myself, being a student of Rav Hirsch, who said this gorgeous pshat, sometimes the pshat's beautiful for itself, and this pshat is. This pshat, Rabbi Say, from Rav Hirsch, leaves a very big impact on me. Because as somebody who loves the writings of Rav Hirsch, who feels that I've been impacted by Rav Hirsch's writings, I think to myself sometimes, did my Rebbe Rav Hirsch, did this tzaddik in his lifetime feel that his mission was successful? What he wanted the world view, and what he wanted, certainly had many Talmidim and a beautiful Kehillah. The Kehillah he created that still exists is gorgeous. Did it spread across the world? I think a lot about Rav Hirsch's beautiful world vision. And then I see this beautiful pshat from Rav Hirsch, Saifai Lishama. How many people today, the wonderful Yidden, the Bandi Mishpach, and people who put out Rav Hirsch's Torah, that impact so many B'nai Torah today. And I think this pshat Rav Hirsch says, don't say something didn't spread, something didn't work. If there's idealism and sincerity, it makes a massive Saifai Lishamea. At the end, it's heard in one way or another. A sincere, ehrlich person, his words have massive impact. Klal Yisrael has had Gedolim who had big yeshivas, big platforms. And we've had people who weren't zeicha to a yeshiva, to a platform, with their idealism, their avodas Hashem, makes a massive impact on the world. It's Saifa Lishameya. At the end, it will be heard. At the end, one way or another, a sincere Erlucha person who's standing up for what's true, what's right, it will have an impact. And I say this Mishnah is so powerful. To us, we share, we're fellow idealists, Chevra. Don't quit on your dreams. Don't quit on your idealism. Don't let somebody tell you, nobody's going to listen. It will never work. It won't accomplish. You'll hear that. The Mishnah's not talking if nobody says it. You'll hear echoes of Yefshar Lishmaya. These words will never leave impact. Don't listen. Shesayfa Lishameya. There's an Erlucha person. In the end, it will be a big impact. It will have a massive impact. Truth is powerful. A little light extinguishes a lot of darkness. Truth is powerful. Sincerity is powerful. These words of Rev Hirsch are golden. To me, these words are just kedai to be born for. And I wanted to share those precious words. Let us study Rabbi Isai, the end of the Mishnah. The end of the Mishnah, Rabbi Isai says as follows. I want to see Rabbi Isai, a chaver of mine, is on here. Thank you to the Spira from Shlomo and Tata for joining. I have a chaver who has a gorgeous song that I want Yehuda Krupke to hear. My chaver Avi from Baltimore, if I can find him on here. Where's Avi? Avi, you're here. Avi, I'm unmuting you, Avi. How are you, Avi?
Baruch Hashem, thank God.
Do you have a guitar handy, Avi?
Yeah, give me a second.
I feel bad. Tonight I'm being like rude. I put Zevi Garal on the spot. That song, Mi Mamakim, was powerful. Is it shaykh before I share this last verse that you would share Mi Mamakim? If a different night's better, you tell me. Is it shaykh, Avi? I want to hear your beautiful voice.
And Mamakim?
Is that if you wanted a different song? Is a different song better?
I'm feeling something else tonight.
What you're feeling, I want you to play. You play what you're feeling, because that works for me.
Okay. Can me hold on a second? I'm on my phone. Can you see me? Is it too dark? Is it good?
Yeah, I can see you. This song we're all going to hear and see. Thank you, Avi. Perfect. Thank you, Avi.
One thing I'll say before I sing the song is that I never went to Waterbury, but Waterbury has a big place in my heart. So, just putting that out there.
Thank you, Avi.
Are we good with sound?
Perfect. Perfect.
Hashem. Shemelecho Yibeno Shuva. Ashiveno Hashem, Oy Hashem Melecho Yibeno Shuva. Show us the way, oh, the way back to you. Bring us all back home. Show us the way back to you. Oh, bring us all back home. Take us all higher, oh, a little bit higher, a little bit higher again. Oh, take us all higher, a little bit higher. Oh, take us higher, a little bit higher. Na 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 na. Take us so higher, little bit higher, oh, little bit higher, little bit higher again. Oh, Yitzadesh Yomeinu, oh, Yitzadesh Yomeinu. Oh, Yitzadesh Yomeinu Kekedesh. No, 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 no. Help me sing the song. Help me out. Come on. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Whoa, 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 Rabbi Kalish, take us higher, little bit higher, a little bit higher, little bit higher, a little bit higher. Oh, Yitzadesh Yomeinu Kekedesh. Yitzadesh Yomeinu, Yitzadesh Yomeinu, Yitzadesh Yomeinu Kekedesh.
Gorgeous, 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 Rav Avi. That from the heart, I love songs that have the Hebrew, the Ashivenu Hashem, and the English. Gorgeous. Thank you, Avi, from your heart right into ours. We'll Be'ez Hashem hear more from Avi other times. Thank you, Rav Avi. That meant a lot and went deep places. Thank you. I wanted to close out and learn a Mishnah specifically for Pini Spira and for the whole Olam. The last part of this Mishnah, hey. Va'al Taimer. Don't say l'kisha efna eshna. When I have time, I'll learn. Shema loitipana. You may never have time. Rabbi say it's very important to me that when we study together, we speak the truths together, and we try to say things we feel and mean. Because the more we connect to what we're saying, the more the next person will connect. like it says, like it's no exact chazal like this, but there are many psukim in the Mishlei. To this point, dvarim hayotzim min halev nichnasim el halev. If we say things that come from our heart, it will enter another person's heart. So I have times I'm looking at it, Sibra, I'm zeicher to be in the same shul as Penny Spirit. Their people are very, very busy, overwhelmingly busy. And you want to stand up, we're holding before Shavuos, and we want to demand of each other to learn more Torah. So we say, how do you honestly look people in the face? People are busy with their parnasa, with their families. They have a lot on their plate. How do you look somebody in the face and I want you to add something to your schedule. The average person's schedule is overwhelmingly full. How do you look into a group? And if you just say something you don't believe is possible, so then it won't have an impact. How can you look at a crowd? What is the Mishnah saying? Don't say when I have time I'll learn, because you may never have time. So, but what am I supposed to do? But I'm overwhelmed. How can somebody take on the Oilat Torah? I want to explain it, and we've learned this before. When the Navi said to Jewish people, Lama lo yasaktem b'Torah, why didn't you learn Torah? They said we're too busy supporting our families. What do they mean? There's not a second to learn. They work, but they mean the Oilat Torah. They just mean we feel so overwhelmed with our tasks and the duties we have, we can't take on another oil. We just don't feel that we could take on another oil. We have so much oil on us already, we can't be mikabel the Oilat Torah. That's what they're saying. We're Isaac in supporting our families, another oil. So how do you look at busy people and say, I want you to take another oil? They just can't. They're overwhelmed. The answer is another Mishnah in Avos. There's a secret. Most things, if you would take the busiest people and put a burden on them, you're just crushing them. There's one oil, kol hamekabel olat Torah, is mavir mimenu ol derech eretz. There's one yoke, one task a person could take on, and Hashem promises us other tasks will get easy. It will get much easier. We don't know how hard our other tasks should be and could be. If we take on the Oilat Torah, other tasks will get easier. That's the deeper pshat, this Mishnah, which says, don't say, Kshe'efna, when I get unengaged, I'm so overwhelmed, then I'll learn. Shema loy tipana, you might not get unengaged. You might be busy your whole life. So good, so how can I learn? The answer is, this will cause you to be tipana. If you don't take on the oil, so shema loy tipana, you might never get that leisure, that calm, that yishuv hadas. Shmaitza boy tzilusa, learning needs yishuv hadas. It needs a person to just be focused on this. But I can't, I have so much on my mind. The answer is accept this oil and other things will get easier. You'll find in business, less hours, you'll do more. Other types of oil, there'll be different siyata d'shmai. That's a promise of a Mishnah. So we have a new understanding of this Mishnah. If you say when my mind gets more calm, I'll learn. Shema loy tipana. You may never get that yishuv hadas, that tranquility to learn. But if you mekabel olat Torah tipana, then you'll have more leisure. It will actually assist. Mavir mimen all derech eretz. All of a sudden, that frustration at work will disappear. That frustration of some dealing you have that's going so schwer will get easy. It's the one oil in our life that makes other types of oil much easier. That's what this Mishnah is saying. Mishnah Vav Rabbi says, Hu ha'yomer. Hillel said, Ein bar yirei chet. Somebody who's a bar, who's ignorant, cannot have fear of sin. V'lo ha'aretz chassid. In Amaretz, a person who doesn't learn Torah cannot be a chassid, cannot go l'fnim mishur sadin. I want to end with the last three words. I want to end with these last three words, then maybe we'll hear a song before we call it a night. Noach Klitnik, it says like this: the embarrassed person, the baishan, will never learn. Now, certainly the simplest meaning is you can't be afraid to ask questions. You can't be afraid. You got to ask questions. If a guy's too embarrassed to ask, you're not going to learn. You have to sometimes say, excuse me, can you clarify? Can you explain better? Don't be a baishan. And certainly that's an emistic of pshat. But I want to say, Rabbi Say, as well, we have so many things inside of us that we're afraid of. And if a person's a baishan, they have some fear from expressing, from working it out, from speaking it out with a chaver. Speaking it out, it could be to a professional, doesn't matter, to speak it out, to work through things inside of us. That if we have parts of us that are blocked off, that are roped off from expression, then the Torah can't penetrate. It won't penetrate those areas because we don't let it. Lo yabaishin lamed. The baishin who doesn't allow, it doesn't mean to announce to the world, but it means if we hold in areas that we just can't work through and can't face and can't deal with, so we just stuff it up and try to ignore things that need to be dealt with. The Torah he's learning will be blocked off from that area that he walled off. The person who expresses and works out, then the Torah will go to every part of his life and impact each and every part of his life. The derech of Torah, the mahalach of Torah, the siyata d'shmaya of Torah will impact this person. Don't be a baishan. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. A human being is born with challenges. That's what it means to be a human. Don't be baishan. Now, we all have a busha to us. It's interesting. This is a fascinating Mishnah. And this Mishnah, surely aware, the Gemara praises busha a lot. The Gemara has a lot of compliments to busha. The Gemara says that if somebody doesn't have busha, be a dua, you know that he didn't stand at Maimon Har Sinai. A yid, it's a very Jew, Yisrael by Shanimim. The Jewish people at busha, there's a tremendous prestige and dignity. We have a refinement of character, so we blush easily. Busha is a beautiful midah, but make sure that it also doesn't hold ourselves in. It should be used like any good midah taiva. We have to control it and manage it. So nobody should have busha that they have busha. I ain't afraid that I'm afraid. Nobody should have busha that they have busha. If you have busha, you should know you're a beautiful yid. You stood at Har Sinai. Just at the wrong time, don't let the busha shackle you. At the time you need to express and say and face and deal, we want the Torah to go to every nook and cranny of our body. Don't have areas in ourselves that are roped off, that there I can't work, that feeling, that thought, that place I can't deal with. Allow the Torah to impact every single part of ourselves. Allow it to come into every part of ourselves. I want to say a very chassidish pshat that I won't apologize for, but I want to share this. I love Guy Shoshan a lot. I want to share it with him and his precious mishpacha. I love siyumim, and somebody told me, a person here told me that you're into ladders, Kalish, and he said that you said that the name of that terrible angel that we don't say his name, Samach Mem Aleph Lamed, stands for Siyam Mesechta Ein Lases. He said you love ladders. A ladder is Samach Lamed Mem. That stands for Siyam Mesechta Lases. Samach Lamed Mem Sulam. A ladder is Siyam Mesechta Lases. A little out of order, but makes Siyumim. So I did appreciate that beautiful idea. I think that was Rabbi Dr. Metz Shlipa. I think told me that on Sulam. Siyum Mesechta Lases. But at Siyumim that we make, we say at the end of a Siyum, when we're Messiah Mesechta. So listen to this pshat. Guy, tell me what you think. It could be I said this to you before. We say at the end of the Mesechta, Hadran Allah Mesechta Ploini, v'hadrach alon, which simple translation means, I will come back to you. Hadran alach, I will come back to you. Masechta v'hadrach alon, and you will come back to me. We are united forever. But the word hadar means beautiful. Sham kanisa haidcha v'adarecha. Hadar means beauty. And the translation means, Hadran alach, my beauty is on you, Masechta. I have expressed myself unashamedly. I have said my opinion, my thoughts, my worries, my challenges. I have exposed my beauty to you, Masechta. And as such, Hadrach alon, your beauty fills me. When I am willing to open myself up to be vulnerable, I want the Torah to penetrate every part of me. When my beauty is expressed to Torah, Hadran alach Masechta so and so. When my beauty Shas has been opened up to you, I don't corner off any part of myself. Then Hadrach alon, your beauty in turn flows through my whole essence. This vert might in some ways upteach our chabura of sincere b'nei Torah, who overcome. We have a busha that's wonderful, and we're not ashamed of our shame. We have a busha because we stood by our Sinai, because we're Yidden, and Yisrael by Shanim. But we want to make sure that busha is not misused in the wrong times. When we need to ask, when we need to wonder, when we need to resolve, we need to figure out, we express. And Abai Shalamed, the Baishan who just can't open up ever. He has a midah taiva, he's a beautiful Yid, he was at our Sinai. But in as much as he can't ask, he can't resolve, the Torah, the beauty of the Torah doesn't go into that spot. So this is this beautiful mission of Leah Baishan Lamed. The Baishan doesn't learn. I did want to close with this amazing Gemara. Maybe off such a vert, we can jump right in. We had that gorgeous Hashivenu from our Chaver Avi. Maybe I could ask Chaim and Shlomo to give us a song. I'm unmuting. Chaim and Shlomo, how are you?
Good. Really good. I'm not ashamed of my shame, Rabbi.
Which song, Chaim, are you feeling tonight?
Which song should we sing? Adam's Miros?
Perfect.
Adam's Miros, Veshirim Erai, Aiki Eilecha, Nafshi Sarai, Ayanim Zmirais, Veshirim Erai, Aiki Eilecha, Nafshi Sarai, Nafshi Chamna, B'tzel Yadecha, Vadas Koras, Razai Decha, Midei Dabri V'chvai Decha, Libi El Decha,
That was gorgeous. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you, Shlomo. Appreciate it a lot. Hoymel libi el daidecha. We crave Hashem's friendship and we appreciate yours as well. Thank you, Chaim. Thank you, Shlomo, a lot. Thank you, Matt, of course, for being here. Asher Nachlin, of course, thank you for joining. I didn't forget Chaim Schwartz. There's a tremendous push from the Chevra. We want to hear him. I want Matt Levin to have a chance to hear Chaimel. So Be'ez Hashem, there are other nights. I'm looking forward that on Sunday night we'll have the opportunity to hear from Zevi Gerala. I'm going to ask Yitzchak Shalom again to perform with his tata. So have an outstanding, thank you guys. Shoshan Noach Klitnik, it means a lot that you came. Thank you, Yehuda Malik. Everybody should have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you, Rafal Moyal and Yoel Rahmani. Have an outstanding night, Rabbi say. 2 o'clock tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem. We will continue learning Torah, and 8:30 tomorrow night. Have a great night, Rabbi say.